Welcome back, everybody. This Week in America on the Blue Funk Broadcasting Radio Network. Great to have you with us on the program tonight. Lots to talk about on the show today. As mentioned, Kat Wright is with us, naturopathic doctor, author. Her website, frownies.com, and a lot of things we're going to cover a lot of ground on the program. You can go to frownies.com and sign up for a free newsletter, get a lot of the information we're talking about. Or go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and you can link on and get that information. Kat, welcome to the program. Great to have you with us on the show today.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, there's so many interesting things to talk about, and let's start talking about what's really in the food that we're eating. We all get confused. We buy processed food. We go to the store. We try looking at labels. We get confused at that. Are we really hurting ourselves by really not knowing more about what's in the food we're buying?
The more the food is processed, the more it's taken away from the way it looks when you get it out of the field, the garden, even if it's the cow. The more processed it is, the more damaging it is. The preservatives that are necessary to keep that food stable, to keep bacteria from growing in it, destroying our health, destroying our digestive tract. The hydrolyzed protein that's in a lot of those foods, the processed foods, they're not even fit to be fed to animals, and we're eating them and we wonder why we're so sick. We're sick because of the quality of food we eat. In the supermarket, if you go to the produce section, you see all the different colors and all the varieties. Even if you go all the way around the perimeters of the grocery store, you see fish, you see beef, you see chicken, you see the actual food in the shape that it originally came. That's the only thing we should be eating. Anything else that's packaged or processed, we should not be touching it. The oils that are in there are rancid. The oils that are in packaged foods, the preservatives that go in them are destroying our health. And, we're not designed. Actually, health is the natural state of being. If we have disease, it's because of something we've done. It's something we're creating. The body's designed to maintain its health and to keep itself healthy. So if we just start with breakfast foods, packaged things that we pop into the toaster or throw in the oven, those packaged foods are loaded with chemicals. They're loaded with hydrogenated oils. Here's the deal. Hydrogenated oil makes the outside of the cell wall rigid and stiff. And the important thing for the cell wall is that it be flexible. The first thing that happens when the cell wall gets rigid and stiff is organs stop functioning properly. Now, I'm a skincare expert as well as a naturopath. I've formulated several skincare products, and so skin is a big conversation of mine. The skin is an organ that we can see. Can't see our liver, can't see our kidneys, we don't see our lungs, we don't see our digestive tract that easily, but we can see our skin. So if the skin is uneven in color, it's dry, it's rough, it's cracking, even in the winter. If all of those things are happening, that organ that we call the skin is suffering, and we can see it. If it's suffering on the outside, it's suffering internally as well. So, a real good sign of health is to look at yourself in the mirror. Is your skin blotchy and discolored, and are you having breakouts? Are the whites of your eyes yellow? If so, the inside of your body is toxic, and it's toxic from the foods that we put in.
What's interesting, you're saying that basically skin externally will tell us what's going on, but also will give us a clue as to what's happening internally.
Exactly. There's a whole science. The whole science of Chinese medicine is based on visual diagnosis, and they look at the coloration on the body, different colors of the skin in different locations of the body, and they diagnosed organ health. I'm trained in muscle testing, and I've worked with chiropractors and naturopathic doctors. I raised 5 children, so all of my life I've been using alternative health, and I've seen some amazing things diagnosed just from the external condition on the outside of the body.
You're listening to Kat Wright, author, naturopathic doctor. You're listening to This Week in America. Our website, thisweekinamerica.us. You can go to the website, link on to Kat's website, which is frownies.com. We're covering a lot of ground on the program today. You can get all the information at the website, a free newsletter that you can sign up for as well. Her books are Your Health in Your Hands, Natural Foods to Turn on Health and Stop Disease. Another book is Your Health Turned On. All this information's at the website. You talk about soft drinks, and we all grab something on the go, and we know that's probably not the best thing for us. And you're saying it goes beyond not being really good for you. It can actually be harmful for you.
Absolutely. It's an acid-forming food. The body's supposed to be alkaline. When the body goes into an acid condition, it's a breeding ground for bacteria, yeast, and disease. So we're just chugging away soft drinks and opening ourselves up to, if we were a chemist in a laboratory, we would create that exact environment to grow disease. And that's what we're putting in our bodies every day.
Something to think about. I was reading that as I was drinking a Coke. So that suddenly went to the sink and pitched the rest of the Coke so that it gets your attention. How do we avoid foodborne illnesses? We read recently about the listeria on cantaloupe, and basically we go to the grocery store, we're frightened to buy any type of fresh products. How do we avoid those problems?
Okay, the importance is the balance in the digestive tract. Those foodborne illnesses that are coming from fresh food, the reason that we're susceptible to that is because we don't have the healthy bacteria in our gut that we need to fight those things off. It's not so much that there aren't bacteria, there aren't spores of things in food everywhere. But if we live in if we try to sterilize our environment, we'll be very sick. Antibiotics in most of the produce we eat, most of the beef and chicken are loaded with antibiotics. Those antibiotics kill the flora in our digestive tract, and then we're susceptible to coming under attack. It's like our first line of defense inside our body is good digestive health. And that means that we have bacteria and enzymes floating around in our digestive tract that actually fight off disease and fight off other things that we don't want. But when we take antibiotics, and not that we never need them, but when we take them on a regular basis or we eat food loaded with antibiotics, the reason they're loaded is because the conditions that the animals are raised are unsanitary. And so they have to put antibiotics in the animal's feed to keep the animals from being rampantly diseased. So we are eating antibiotic-laden flesh when we eat most commercial beef. We should be, if you want to eat beef or chicken, you should have range-fed, grass-fed animals.
Are there special foods that we should eat so we prevent some of these problems you're talking about?
There are. There absolutely are. You can make your own kimchi or fermented sauerkraut, fermented cabbage with salt, just old-fashioned sauerkraut. You can buy it at the health food store, but you can also make your own. It's very simple. You just mix the salt and the cabbage together. I actually have a YouTube channel called MS Healthy Body, and I make MS Healthy Body on YouTube, and I make kimchi. I show people how to make it on there. And if you just ate a little bit of that fermented cabbage, which is just basically sauerkraut, every day, that would be putting good enzymes back in your digestive tract. I take enzymes every day. There's an enzyme that I absolutely love, and as you age, your body stops making as many enzymes as it used to make, so you need to get it out of food. Your raw plants like lettuce and broccoli and cabbage and kale and carrots and any of those things, when they're raw, they're loaded with enzymes that help the body digest food. You can take lactobacillus or acidophilus, just orally. You can take that to help yourself. There's all kinds of beverages now with that in it. You go to the health food store, you kind of have to get a new language and you have to get a new lifestyle. And on my website, you can learn some of those things there. You can kind of get some direction as where to go with all that. In my books, I give you lots of direction. I know it's a new language for the average person, but the thing is we used to say protein, or we said meat, we said milk or dairy products, we said fruits and vegetables. Well, the fruits and vegetables are very important, especially the vegetables. We need whole grains, not processed grains like wheat and oats and millet and barley and rye in their whole form. And we need lots of good clean water. And the fermented food, every traditional culture used fermented food. The Japanese used miso. Miso soup is fantastic. If you had miso soup every day, you would help heal the digestive tract. And miso soup is easy to make. You can buy miso in a tub. It kind of looks like peanut butter, but a little darker in color. And you boil some water and put a tablespoon of that in the water and drink it, and it's like a bouillon broth, and you're putting in good bacteria in your body every single day.
All of this information, I'm sorry.
Go right ahead.
I'm just going to say all of this information, and there's a lot there, and I'm trying to write all this down, but you can find it at the website, which is frownies.com. You can sign up for the free newsletter. Kat Wright is our guest on This Week in America, author, naturopathic doctor with over 30-plus years experience. Rapidly running out of time, I want to talk a little bit briefly about how we prepare the food and what we prepare it in has an impact on our health as well. And then talk about Frownies, because this is America's first anti-aging skin company, and it's been around since like 1889. Briefly about how we prepare the food. Are we hurting ourselves by how we prepare food?
Well, with vegetables, we need to have some fresh every day, so you don't want to overcook your food. Eggs are a great source of protein, but if you overcook the egg, the protein's hydrolyzed and you can't digest it. A nice soft-cooked egg or a poached egg, that's excellent. If you grill beef, you create the most carcinogenic substance in the surface of the beef. If you marinate your beef and your chicken and those animal products in something like a vinegar, some sort of a vinegar with herbs and natural spices, you actually reduce that chemical in the animal food. So yes, definitely the way that you prepare the food has a tremendous difference impact on your health.
A lot of this information in Kat's books, Your Health Turned On, Your Health in Your Hands, and the DVD series, which includes some recipes, Your Health in the Kitchen. The website is frownies.com. A lot of good information there. I mentioned Frownies, and this is a fascinating product. It's a family company, started back in 1889. And again, it goes back to basically finding natural ways to get around some problems, in this case, problems of aging. Kat, give us briefly the product Frownies, what it does, and how it's evolved over the years.
My great-grandmother invented in 1889 a little patch that splints the muscles on your face. So when you get these creases and lines between your eyebrows or across your forehead or the crow's feet or smile lines, the patch actually splints the muscle and lifts the crease out of the line. And for over 100 years, that was all that we sold. That was the only product. Well, when I got involved about 30 years ago, I wanted natural, topical treatment products as well. It's very important what you put on your skin. The skincare products we have on the market are loaded with chemicals that actually lead to problems. Some of them, this is in the ebook you get when you sign up on my newsletter, but some of those chemicals lead to skin cancer. That's interesting because that's what we're trying to prevent all the time.
Yes.
Many of the ingredients in the SPF products can contribute to skin cancer. They cause liver cancer, liver disease. A lot of the ingredients in skincare products are found in breast tumors and women with breast cancer. We need to eliminate those things, and I wanted to eliminate them. Simple, inexpensive, coconut oil. Rub it all over your skin. It heals all kinds of things. Beyond that, Frownies, we have all kinds of good moisturizing products on our website that don't contain any harmful chemicals. Or we have only active antioxidants that actually help fight environmental damage or surface damage to the skin. So, there's a lot of things that I've added, not a lot, we have a very small line. I guess there's 7 products that I've added to the line over the last 15 years. But the 2 original Frownie facial patches have been on the market for 120 years, smoothing out wrinkles. Before Botox, Frownies did the same thing. Now, it's not overnight. It's not a quick fix. It's nowhere near as expensive. It doesn't involve needles or knives. It's just a simple, easy way to smooth out the skin.
And obviously, being around that long, it works. Tell me a little bit about a celebrity endorsement that many years ago, about 10 years ago. Suddenly the phone's ringing off the hook and people are interested in buying this product. And you'd said at the time, we couldn't even pay for an endorsement like this. And you go back and you look at the history of the product. It was featured in Sunset Boulevard, the excellent movie from a number of years ago. It really has a really impressive heritage.
It really does. Renee Rousseau said that 12 years ago. It was her secret weapon. She was about 48 years old and she looked fantastic. And everyone wanted to jump on and find out what she was using. This past year, Raquel Welch actually published a book called Beyond the Cleavage, and she dedicated 3 pages to how she used our products and how effective they were at keeping her skin smooth. We didn't even know that was going to happen. But it was a product that was celebrity endorsed. My great-grandmother created it for my grandmother, who was a concert pianist, and she was on the stage in New York City and in Cleveland, Ohio. And, at the time, things just were sold word of mouth. We have shoeboxes of letters people wrote ordering the product, and we sent the product out, and then they sent us a check. How about that?
That's nice to be able to do that. Nice to be able to pull that one off.
That was in the old days.
Yeah. We've got a couple minutes left in the program. Kat Wright is our guest on the program. Author, naturopathic doctor. Her website is frownies.com. Talking about what's in the food you eat, how we prepare the food, and what problems we may be bringing upon ourselves. And her line of products at Frownies, you go to the website, frownies.com, and get the information, free newsletter, or our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Basically, in wrapping everything up, and the books are fascinating, Your Health in Your Hands. I mean, as you're reading this, it's like it makes so much sense. We basically have a lot, there are genetic issues we all have to deal with that probably we really can't overcome. But a lot of the health problems we have in reading your book and listening to you talk and others as well, we really have our health destiny in our hands. We can really make an impact on how we feel and how we age.
We absolutely can. And Rick, I actually do consultations with people. After they read my book and they've got questions, I set up some phone conversations and just to kind of help jumpstart them into the right direction, because this is so new territory. But it's not that difficult. It's once you get it down and you understand it's very simple food preparation, and you can stay healthy well into your 80s and 90s. And I am friends with a gentleman who's actually 89 years old, and he swims in the ocean, jumps on trampolines, travels the world because he's taken intentional care of his health for the last 30 years. But I've seen other people in their 60s. I met a woman that ran her first marathon when she was 60 years old. She's 74 years old now. I met her when she was 54. She doesn't look a day different, but she changed her diet and her lifestyle at 54 years old, and at 74, people are shocked when I tell them 20 years ago I met her. She doesn't look a bit different than she did that day. But she took personal responsibility, grabbed it by the horns, and changed her life.
You say it's a whole new language, and it's not that difficult once you get that language. And I've heard all that before. Like I said, I'm trying to write it down. If you didn't get it down, you can go to the website, frownies.com. Sign up for the free newsletter. You get all the information on the products that the Kat's talking about and her books as well. Fascinating having Kat on the program. We'd love to have you back. Much more to talk about. The website, again, is frownies.com. You're listening to This Week in America. Our website, thisweekinamerica.us.